get started. And we've been talking about knees and running and all sorts of fun stuff. But I want to make sure that I can get through all of this content. Um, Lynn, I don't know if we have, like, I can probably put the PDFs in the chat unless everyone here already has the handouts.
I'll put a link because they're embedded on our website. So I'll put the link to that page in the chat.
That's perfect. So,
and I'll actually send it out to everyone in the follow-up email as well.
Okay. Yeah, and I just, if you, once the link pops up in the chat, go ahead and click on it if you're here, for those of you that are here, because I'm going to show the handouts also, but if you can write some of this stuff down as we're going through it, even if you don't have the handouts, have a piece of paper, because I'm going to be going through a lot of stuff this morning or this afternoon, this mid-morning, whatever time zone y'all are in. I'm super excited to be here, Lynn. I don't know if you have anything to add before I go turbo.
I'm not going to, just because I have an ear infection, so I'm not feeling very well this morning. Okay. So I'm just going to let you do your thing, and I'll look up that link for the website.
Okay, so Lynn's going to post that link, and I'm just going to go ahead and jump into the screen share and start the presentation. For those of you who might be new to this space, my name is Roxanne, and I am a member of the Colville Confederated Tribes. And I'm a photographer, a yoga instructor, and I have what is it called? A degree. I have a Bachelor of Science in Sports Management and a focus on scuba diving and the tourism industry, and a minor in business. I have been teaching, I taught scuba diving all over the world I say all over the world, but like Fiji, the Turks and Caicos, Florida, and Hawaii were the main places that I taught. And and I learned so much about business and about customers and the way people interact with your product or service by just delivering good customer service, and how important that is to all of us in business. And it became a huge passion to be able to share that information with people. And as a scuba diving instructor, I taught people who had never used a scuba diving rig ever to be comfortable to breathe underwater and swim around with fish and sharks and turtles and octopus. And then I also, during that time, I also taught underwater photography, and I was an underwater videographer. I lived on a 120-foot boat where I would take people out and, do the trainings, do the photography, do the videography. And that was where my passion for photography blossomed, and I became a photographer. And then I started to work in culinary arts. And then I started to love taking photos of food and people. And, eventually I remembered how much I loved teaching. And I got asked to do a marketing workshop for an organization, and it was I was doing it pro bono. And I was like, sure, why not? I love to teach. So I did this, and then it turned into this new path for myself and my business, where I teach workshops now on things that I learn about. And yeah, I'm super excited to be here to share with y'all about what a content calendar is. And so I shared all that information with you because not only am I a photographer, and not only do I do trainings, and not only am I a single parent, but I am self-employed, 100% self-employed. And I do all the things. I'm an LLC, a single member LLC, and I do all the things in my business. I'm the marketer, the product manager, I do all the things. I don't have a staff. And so oftentimes important dates will come up, and y'all might be able to relate to this if you already run some sort of a business or organization, where it's like Valentine's Day is the date that I'm going to focus on a little bit, because it's coming up here, and all of us in business should have been promoting anything Valentine's Day related already. And so what happened to me all the time is, like, because we get so caught up in doing the business, working the business, doing all the things, we often forget important dates. And I always find myself going, oh man, Valentine's Day, it's like 2 weeks away and I haven't promoted anything about my business. I haven't told anybody anything about what they can, expect from me as a business, because people want to know. People are out there looking for beautiful, unique things to gift to their partners. And I pretty much feel like I've already missed the boat for Valentine's Day. And this happens all the time. Sometimes it's not 2 weeks, sometimes it's the day before. Sometimes the whole thing passes and I've missed these opportunities. So one of the things that I do when I train is, like, as I learn things, I come up with ways that I can share that knowledge with others. And right now in my business and working with IDRS Acorn Project, we're building a content calendar so that we can make sure to get information for IDRS, get you the information about trainings in a timely and effective manner, and to get you guys interested in joining us. And then also for my business personally, like as a photographer, there's a lot of competition out there, and being able to offer unique things and have a plan and not wing it at the last minute. So in this 1 hour, I'm going to do my very best to cover a ton of information. We're going to talk about what is a content calendar. I'm going to show you the handouts and how you will can and will use the handouts. And we're going to go through some ways to create a content calendar for yourself. Just some different tips and things you might be thinking, well, what does that look like for my business? And we're going to talk about that. And then we're going to talk about dates that are important, like not that we're going to figure out right now what the important dates are for you, but there's some different things that we can talk about that will help to bring that to reality in your mind. And then I'm going to show you how to put that into use. So let's go ahead and move to the first slide. First things first. Before we start posting, before we start talking, and before we start doing anything on social media, okay, first, let me rewind. Post. But in the meantime, while you're just posting maybe some random stuff, make sure that you're formulating a plan about why you're posting on your social media platforms, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever, or if you're going to start using Clubhouse. I'm going to take the plunge this week and download that app and see what it's like. But right now I'm taking a deep dive in TikTok because I think that's a good space to be in right now for my business. And so first thing you need to do is figure out, what do I want to accomplish in my online marketing? But we also want to remember that social media isn't meant to be sales, like buy this for me, this is what I have for sale, I'm doing a sale right now, buy this, promote this. And it's all just then when people look at your social media profiles, you feel like a used car salesperson. And none of us want to feel like that we don't want to be that on social media, first of all, because Facebook and Instagram, their algorithms are getting really, really smart. And they are like, people don't want to see that. Unless you're getting a ton of people interacting with your posts. Like right now, the Indigenous beadwork is like blowing up on Instagram. So many people are like all about it. Like they're not even there to buy, they just are engaging with it. So those beadworkers can just post, this is what I have for sale. And people are just like, oh, that's beautiful. And they're liking it. But they also have beautiful images of their work. So, but that's a whole other topic. But just remember that you're creating a space online. If you're not one of those people that has a ton of like raving fans yet, our job is to create those raving fans, to create a space where your customers and potential customers begin to develop that know, like, trust factor. Another good example that I like to use is I'm single. So the dating atmosphere, like let's say you go on a date and you someone's like, hey, let's, you meet them for the first time and there's a little bit of interest and they're like, I love you, let's get married. You're like, whoa, wait a minute, I don't even know your name yet. And, so that's what we're doing on social media when we're just posting like, blah, blah, buy this, buy that. We're not telling people who we are. we're not taking our potential marriage candidate on a date to get to know them, out for maybe start with coffee. Like, hey, my name is this, and this is how I drink my coffee in the morning or whatever. And maybe not in the morning, maybe your afternoon coffee or tea. But so we're building that rapport. We're letting our customers get to know us. And then what our hope is that our ideal customer, our perfect customer is going to be like, man, I like you. And then when you do a post about, hey, by the way, I sell essential oils and this is one of my favorite ones. They're like, ooh, I know her or him. I like her or him. I trust them. And if they like that, then I want some too. So that's what we're trying to create in our social media content. So before we ever start like just blowing up, like these are my promotions, these are my sales, we need to build that know, like, trust factor. And, you know, some people aren't going to like us. Some people are going to, like, if you've been in the dating world at all, you go on dates and people are like, nah, we're just not connecting. And that's okay, because there's other people that are going to connect with you. You're not for everyone. Your product and service isn't for everyone. It's for the people that are your ideal customers. So anyway, I can go on off on that topic forever. So what I also encourage people to do is to pick a few categories that you are going to focus on to build that know, like, trust factor. And this is just a brief list. You can add more to it. But every time you make a social media post, what is your intention? Pick 3 to 7. 7 is ideal. And then what you would do is like make a calendar of, like, pick an odd number, because the way that it works in Instagram is then you won't have similar things stacking on top of each other. But like, do you want to inspire people? Do you want to create posts that are educational? Or do you just want to entertain? Do you just want to get on and be goofy and tell funny jokes, or just tell behind the scenes stuff that happens with your kids or your family? Are you looking to inform them? Like, maybe you're an activist performer where you are, you're always out there on the front lines and you're singing your songs or telling your stories or whatever it is. Are you informing about things that are going on in the world? Are you creating positivity? Are you putting, and like, that's a new word. I'm so glad it became a word because I use it all the time. And I used to say it and people would look at me funny. And now, like, I can't remember what movie it was, it Boondock Saints or one of those movies where they said positivity. Now everybody says positivity. Are you looking to endorse something or someone? Like, man, I just tried this new product and I love it. Or I just got this new, like, I just did a video about a ribbon skirt that I had purchased from a person and I loved it. And so I did a video about it. So I'm endorsing her and her business. Are you doing it to solve a problem or provide a solution? So what I recommend is that you pick at least 3. 7 is ideal, and they can be other things besides this, but just pick those things and then always post with that intention. Ideally, you would set up, like, on Mondays, I inspire, on Tuesdays, I educate, on Wednesdays, I entertain, on Thursdays, I'm going to inform. And then on Fridays, we need a little positivity going into the weekend. And then maybe I'm going to inspire again on Saturday and Sunday. So you would lay that out. And then every time you're like, it's Monday, what am I posting? It's something to inspire. Maybe you already have things that you can pull from, or you can share from other profiles. So the handouts. So this is what one of them looks like. It's just a blank calendar page. And it's 30 or 31 days. I hope it's 30, it's probably 30. But the idea is that at the top there, you write in the month and the year, and then you can write the days of the week at the top. Some of us like to start on Monday. Some of us like to start our week on Sunday. So this gives you an opportunity to decide. And then you just fill in the dates accordingly for your business. And then I'm going to talk about this later, but then how, what do you fill the calendar up with? Do you fill it up with your to-do list, your appointments and things like that? Sure. But this is your social media content calendar. So what we want to fill it up with are important dates that are relevant to your business. And we're going to get to that coming up. So this is where you can add the year, the month, the day, the date. And then we're gonna do this right now. We're gonna jump into one of these websites, is to find like important holidays and events. And like looking over on the right-hand side of the slide, if my picture is blocking it, I'm gonna go ahead and just read it so you know what it says, but you can also move me or just minimize me. Like in the corner, there's like a little dash thing and it will just make me go away. But so we want to look at national holidays, look at local holidays and events. What are local holidays and events? I live in a small town. We have an event called Okanagan Days. We have our world famous Omak Stampede and Suicide Race. So those and there's a big Indian encampment and powwow. There's other local events too, but they're not coming to the top of my mind. What are they for you? Like I live in Washington State. We have Leavenworth. They have their Bavarian celebration. They do a whole Christmas lighting thing. And all of those events, those local holidays and events are so important to you as a local business. So we want to make sure we're not just hitting those big national holidays, but we're also looking at local holidays and events. What is your community celebrating? And then any cultural holidays or events, now we get Indigenous Day, or, we get, a few relevant holidays to our culture. And you might have some that are local and some that are national or some that are at the state level. So just identifying these special dates, then taking it even a little bit deeper, like what are some important dates to your customer? And this is where you can start to develop those customer profiles and start to develop your email list and develop like a true customer database. If you know your customers' birthdays, send them a happy birthday email. A happy birthday card is even more impactful with a handwritten note that says, happy birthday, thanks for being my customer. Are they wedding anniversaries or any important anniversaries in their life? Birth of a child, if you make baby blankets or you make baby clothes, or I'm a photographer, so newborn photos, maternity photos, these are all important dates that I'm going to know because this is the data that I'm collecting from those customers. Did they just get divorced? Like think outside of the box. What are some like not typical things that we can also maybe celebrate with our customers? But we also have to have that rapport. We have to know that they're so happy to be divorced and they're the kind of person that's going to have a dress burning bonfire party with all their friends, or a tuxedo burning if it's the male. But understanding that, and then maybe you can send them a gift package, like a divorce care kit. And then another important one is the date they became your customer. When was the first time they made a purchase from you? And send them a little note every year, even if they hadn't bought from you all year long. Say, hey man, I just wanted to celebrate you because in 2019, you became one of my customers when I was just getting started. And I just want to show you some appreciation and send you this thank you card. And you don't have to do anything else. All of a sudden, they're going to be like, oh man, I really liked what they did. Maybe I should see what they're up to. And then they're going to jump on your social media. They're going to jump on your website or whatever it is. But this is why these dates are important. So think about your business and what important dates would be important to you specifically. Let's say you're a bake shop. You make baked goods, donuts, cookies, cupcakes, whatever. There's a National Donut Day. There's a National Waffle Day. So you can find those days, and then, so that's what we're doing here on this page, is finding all the possibilities and just putting them in one place. So somebody let me know if you can see this when I click on this link, if the screen changed. Do you guys still see?
It's blank on my end, okay. At least.
I'm going to have to go back. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to see if I can do this. So new share. Okay, let's see. Can you see it now?
Yes.
You see holidays and observances in the United States in 2021. So this is a website that y'all can go to. What I did is when I was doing this research for myself, look at how smart these businesses are. Like I just bought some stuff from Sephora and some stuff from Squarespace. And so those are the ads that pop up on the site. So anyway, so you can go and look month specific. So if I wanted to click here, it would just show me January dates and holidays. If I wanted just February, or let's say you're going to start planning now for March. So you could just click on March and start writing down, like, let's do it. So these are all the holidays in March. And it even tells you like if it's a specific state. And going back up here, I want to say you can even, like, this is cool. I didn't try this, but you can create a calendar. Let's see what this looks like for just the month of January. I'm not sure if this is something you have to pay for. Oh, I was hoping it included on the bottom, I guess it has some of those important holidays. So we can do these little things to find this information. They also have another calendar. Let's see if I can pull this one up really quick. Hold on. I don't know if I created this link. Can you see funny, random, and weird holidays now? Anybody?
I'm sorry, what did you just ask, Roxanne?
Right, I switched websites. Can you now see the
fun holidays?
Funny, random, and weird holidays?
Yes.
Okay, so like January 1st is Polar Bear Plunge Day. If you're in the fitness and wellness scene, that might be a good thing to talk about and post about, like why cold plunges are so beneficial to you. And guess what? January 1st, it's Polar Bear Plunge Day. And the cool thing is on this website, on these websites, you can click on them and it gives you like a deeper dive. So in case somebody didn't know what it was, they can look and see what it means. So I really, like, out of all the different places that I looked, this was one of my favorites for finding dates. So there's also, you can like, you just look through this, like, look how many things there are. Like there's something just about every single day, sometimes 2 things a day in January. So if you're like, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to post a weird thing about Old Rock Day. Like, what is that? It looks like it's about fossils. Like, and you can read this and be like, what does Old Rocks have to do with my business? And then, maybe you might even get some inspiration from it. So, this is a resource that you can look to find those important dates for your business. So I'm going to go back to hopefully back to the PowerPoint if I can figure out how to get there from here. Hold on. Apologies. There we go. So back here. So I just created this handout so you can like write these things in for yourself. And I will go ahead and also send these links to Lynn so she can include those in the follow-up email as well. But then after we get the big list, and I just put a few lines, but you can add more, you can do whatever. But this is where you would want to think about your ideal customer or your potential ideal customers, your ideal potential customers. What dates do they buy or should they buy your product or service? So in the middle of winter, as a photographer and a stand-up paddleboard yoga instructor, that part of my business is like, if I'm doing a bunch of promoting for future things, that's different. But for right now, for me to be promoting, like, let's go out in the ice river and do some stand-up paddleboard yoga, people are gonna be like, yeah, no, not gonna do it. So when are the buying seasons for your customers specific to your products? Now, if you sell, if you sell wearable art, that season is pretty much all year round. However, there are peaks: Valentine's Day, Christmas. If you sell, like, I don't know, just throwing it out there, christening outfits, Like if someone's cat, I don't know if other religions, but I was raised Catholic. So you go to baptisms, and that's usually right around Easter and spring. So if that's something that falls in with what you could incorporate as an important date for your business, then that's where this goes. And oops, sorry, I got getting excited ahead of myself. So we want to just make sure that we're not just picking random dates because we like them. We want to think about our product or service and how that intertwines with that specific date. Or like, for example, me as I'm trying to think of a bad example because I do so let's say like if you're a trainer, if you're a fitness trainer, right around Thanksgiving, October, right when Halloween hits, trying to get anybody to jump on board with any sort of a health and wellness fitness program, unless they're like an extreme outlier. And that could be like a niche market. Maybe you as a fitness instructor or health and wellness coach, that's what you want to do. Typically from October to about mid-November, it like nobody, like everyone's like, no, I'm just, or even right around like just before Christmas, because nobody's really thinking about their New Year's resolutions until like the day after Christmas. And then they're like, oh my gosh, I need to get a plan together. And so you want to be posting and talking about what you're doing leading up to it. So people are seeing your stuff, they're getting to know you, they're starting to like you, they're starting to trust you, so that when you say, hey, I'm selling this new program to help you, get back in shape or feel better in your body or change your mindset. And people are going to say, oh, hey, I dig that. I'm going to sign up for it because I know them, I like them, and I trust them. So we don't want to just be like, okay, it's New Year's Eve and I'm going to start posting about my fitness and wellness program, because people have already decided what they're going to buy into. They've already been thinking about like, I do need to get in shape. I do need to figure out a better program. I do need these things. And so they're seeing these people posting like, hey, just a little tip for post Thanksgiving, or do a little yoga before Thanksgiving, before the family comes over, so you're in a better mental state, or whatever it is. We're doing those things that are building that know, like, trust factor. And that's where creating a content calendar can be so valuable, because then as we're like thinking of all these things, this page again is meant to be duplicated. So you don't just come up with one post idea. So based on the dates that you are posting in your business, pick one of them and then write out some brainstorm ideas. What are some, like, based on those topics that I shared in the beginning, like based on those topics, what are some of the things that you can begin to build that know, like, trust factor with your customers? So I'm using yoga as an example, and I'm thinking again in terms of Valentine's Day, because that's the next holiday coming up. Now, if I would have had my calendar for my business already done, I would be doing some lead up things, like if I wanted to promote couples yoga, or if I wanted to promote a private yoga session packages, like thinking that the partner is going to be buying this as a Valentine's Day gift. Now, do you think I would be promoting couples yoga to the man or the woman in the relationship? Now, just thinking of, like, just being very male, female, not thinking about all the things right now, just traditional married couples. And it doesn't have to be traditional. I don't know the lingo, so if I'm offending anybody right now, please forgive me. I have no intention of doing that. I'm not sure how to talk about the different couples. But anyway, so most likely it's the female that's going to be like, let's go do couples yoga, and the partner is going to be like, okay, whatever, and they're going to go just to make their partner happy. So that particular thing, I would be talking to the feminine part of the human nature. And some men in the relationship might be, yeah, dude, let's do some couples yoga. And that, or maybe, you know, thinking about the husband looking for a new and exciting present to offer to their partner, he might say, I could be talking to the male saying, I have private yoga sessions. Has your partner always wanted to try yoga? This is a great way for them to ease into it. So, but those aren't the only posts I would be making. I would be talking about like, man, I remember when I first started yoga, I was so embarrassed to go to a class because I didn't know what to wear. I didn't know what to expect. I thought I was going to have to like put my leg up behind my head and I was going to be standing on my hands and my backs and my heels touching the back of my head. I was so scared, but I was so lucky that I was able to go to a private session where the instructor like eased me into a class and the program. And so saying that, someone's like, man, I totally know what she's talking about. And like, how can you translate these messages to your business specifically? Now, I'm just using the yoga stuff as an example, but another option is like sip and yoga. A lot of people, I do a bend and sip class where we do yoga and either sip on mimosas or whatever beverage you want. And some people sip on kombucha. So it just depends. And we do yoga, we do this whole building community thing. And this is like, everybody loves that class. So how can you, like, this is your brainstorm idea. This is where you're like, ooh, I love, like, I'm a bake shop and I'm going to do some really awesome Valentine's Day cookies. So I'm going to do a quick like demo on how I decorate the cookies or cupcakes or whatever it is. And this doesn't even, you don't even have to, you start doing this well before the date comes, and then people are like, oh wow, look at those, oh look at that, I want that, oh man, I need to buy that for my partner. So that's what this brainstorm is, and this is meant to be done for each of those dates that you select that are specifically related to your business. Okay, so now I'm playing with animations or in my presentations. I must have hit the button too many times, and that's why it advanced. So then we want to start looking at like, what are my monthly goals? So now you can write like each important date in a year's view, like January, depending on what your business is, what are you focusing on January? Maybe you're like a wellness or mindset coach and you're getting people to start doing the work to have the right mindset for the rest of the year. Or maybe you're a fitness instructor. So in that month, you're selling and promoting your new programs, which you hopefully we're building that rapport in November and December so that everyone's buying in January. So you would do this for each part of the month. What are the goals? What is your goal? January, I'm launching my program, so I want to make sure I have this many people signed up. And then no matter what, you make it happen. Because let me digress a little bit. Like, we can have all this fantastic ideas for posting on social media. We can have all the followers, all the engagement. But if you're a business owner and your objective is to make sales or get people to buy into your product or service, same thing, right? And all you're getting are likes and comments and nobody's buying from you, you're not necessarily getting what you need as a business owner out of your social media platforms. So even though our intention might be to inspire, to motivate, to inform people, all of that is leading up to us as business people, business owners, to make a connection so that people want to buy our product or service. So these goals could be financial goals. They could be specific numbers of people that are I want, 100 people to contact me about the program I'm putting together, or maybe 1,000 people, whatever that number is for you based on your social media following at this point. You just want to make sure that you are creating those monthly goals, because if you look at this and that 360 degree or 3,000 foot view, 360 degree, woo! So that 3,000 foot view, you get to see the big picture, because when we are the solopreneur, when we're the only person doing all the things in our business, we can get very head down and blinders on. We need to just get this done. I need to do the books. I need to balance the books. I need to send out this invoice. I need to do these things. And we forget about our community. We forget, if we're a brick and mortar store, we get to see people face to face. We get to talk to them. We get to engage with them. But now in the world of social media, most of the time, people won't even come into your store unless they've seen your Facebook or Instagram or website. So the online presence is the new Yellow Pages. And if you don't know what Yellow Pages are, I'm dating myself. But so we need to make sure that we're putting our best foot forward when we're putting information out there on our social platforms. And what will you be promoting each month? So the first calendar was like, and you can combine these two. I just put them in two different slides so that I remember to talk about this point. But what will you be promoting each month? So January, I'm doing this. February, I'm doing this. March, maybe you don't have a promotion every month. Maybe you do something quarterly. Maybe you do something every other month. It's just, you need to determine this for your business. But by creating this calendar, now you're able to look at it and be like, okay, I know these dates are coming up in February or in March or in April, or like, I can't remember which month Easter's in, like, I think it's April. So if we want to do an Easter promotion, we need to start thinking about what we're going to talk about, what we want people to buy from us. We need to be thinking about it now so we can start creating the content and posting those get to know me posts in February, like me in March, and then buy from me, the trust, in April. So that this way, like, I can look and go, oh man, I see like other important dates for my business. Fall, if I'm a photographer, fall is when all those families are starting to think about Christmas cards, senior portraits, family portraits. Everybody wants to be in the fall colors for family portraits. So in May, I need to start building that know, like, trust factor to get people to want to book with me in September, October for those sessions. And also, like, as part of it could be education. Like, I could talk, like, just another example, hopefully to help you get the bigger, like, the view is, excuse me, let's say I'm going to do a promotion in August, the end of August and September and part of October. And what I want people to do is I want them to buy into the idea of getting their holiday pictures now. And so what I can start doing, like telling my personal experiences, like, man, I remember this one year I decided in the middle of winter that I wanted to send out Christmas pictures. So I hired a photographer in December. And, she has a 2-week turnaround for the photos. So I got the pictures done early December. 2 weeks later, she sent me my images. Then I had to pick my images. And by the time I ordered my cards and did that whole process, Christmas had already passed. So, everyone was getting their Christmas cards from me like after Christmas. And so this year I decided that I'm going to be ahead of the game. So I found another photographer, the same photographer, and she has holiday card specific sessions. So I was able to get my photos done in September with a beautiful background. My family wasn't freaking out because it was freezing cold. We were comfortable and the pictures turned out amazing. I didn't have to stress about the timeline. I got my pictures and cards done by the end of November. Everything was in the envelope and I was able to send it out, and everyone got their cards in time. And we beat that Christmas rush where everybody's sending their cards out the week before Christmas. And like, you hear that and you're like, I need to start doing that too. No, I didn't say I'm a photographer, buy from me, book me. I didn't tell that story yet. That comes later. That comes after they get to know me. That comes after they're like, man, I know her. She's cool. She has like real person problems. And so that's what we're doing. I'm being very, very relaxed about the way I'm describing this, but that's what we need to do. We need to be ourselves on social media. Like, I follow this other person. She's like the social media guru. She's so loud. Like, I have to turn the volume down when I'm listening to her talk because she's just like energy is like vibrating from her ears. Like you can see like, roo, roo. And I'm like, whoa, she's so intense, but it's such a great way to start my day because she gets me like all excited. But that's not my personality. I talk really fast and I get really excited, but I'm not one to get like really, really loud and start like, see, I can't even do it when I'm trying to do it. And if I were to try to do that, I would be able to maintain that for just a short period of time because it's not my true personality. I'm a yoga instructor. I like to create calm and peace with people. And, you know, I'm using myself as an example a lot, but I want you to think about you. Like, what is my personality? What do I like? Even ask your friends, like, what do you think is cool about me? And it might feel awkward depending on who your friends are, but if they get you and they get what you're trying to accomplish, they're going to be like, because I have a couple of friends that I call and like, so if you were to describe me in 3 words, what words would you describe me in? And they're like, oh, you must be trying to rewrite your bio. This, and this. And they're like totally straight with me. Like one of them was like, you're overachiever and like, what? So find those people and surround yourself with them. But like take the stories that I'm sharing with you and translate them to yourself. Again, I understand I'm talking really fast and I'm sharing a lot of information with you, but this is being recorded. So I hope if it's not, I'll repeat everything I'm saying again to you if you have questions. But you go watch it again and like take notes, like, okay, what does this look like for me? What does this look like for my business? Okay, so this is the space to write out what you'll be promoting each one. By knowing this, you can also figure out inventory levels and cash flow. I knew I put this note in here for a reason. Let's say you are a maker, you make wearable art, you make beaded earrings, you make hat bands, you make cool medallions, or you make clothes. February is the time that everybody's buying things that are wearable art for their partners. So you should know that your inventory, if you're going to do a proper promotion, should be a little higher during that time. So not only does the content calendar help you figure out like what you're going to promote, it also helps you as a creator to know what inventory levels you need to have on hand. So I think that is super important. The other important thing, and I'm not sure, I think Mark just taught a class on this, but understanding your cash flow, like how to operational budget. And I think there's a recording of that. So if you haven't seen it, go watch that. But like, if you know in February, you're going to sell at like $20,000 worth of inventory, you know that you're going to have this huge influx in February. And March, it's probably going to taper down. So then you can budget accordingly in your business to accommodate for those influx of income and those decreases in income. I don't know if I used the right words to describe that, but you get the idea. If you're a maker, November and December, huge months for you. If you're like, oh, I keep selling out of everything, that's an indicator that A, you have an amazing product, B, you might not be charging enough, and C, can you create more inventory? So that's another way that this content calendar can be so beneficial for your business. Okay. So, oops, I didn't mean to do that. So how will you keep track? One of the things that I really like, I'm going to see if I can minimize this. I apologize. Hold on. 1 second. I'm just going to do a quick thing here so I can actually talk to you more effectively. Okay, so how will you keep track? There's a ton of different ways that you can track this. Next month's topic is going to be all about how to use schedulers like content, what are they called? Like Hootsuite and Planoly and Later, and like finding the one that's right for you and your budget and your business. But for right now, we're just going to be really old school. So how are you going to keep track of all this? Like those little handouts that I gave you, those are just meant for you to use to brainstorm and just like get the things out. But then you have to actually put it into a calendar. Now, if you use Google Calendar or iCalendar or any digital calendar, you're going to want to transfer those dates into the calendar. Or if you have a physical planner, you can put it in the planner. Or I'm going to show you an Excel spreadsheet that is a social media content planner, and it's already made. Like if you have Outlook you can just download it from the internet, and then you just fill in your stuff. And whatever you decide to do, make sure that you pick something, even if it's just writing it out on a piece of paper. Make sure that it's a piece of paper that you have top of mind all the time, though. And I love to use the schedulers, because as business owners, and again, this whole workshop came about from my own experience of forgetting and not forgetting, but missing important dates. And one thing I love to do is I set up a notification in Google Calendar, so that like you need to start promoting this thing. Valentine's Day is coming up. Ding. And then I'm like, oh, I have some stuff already created, and then I could start posting about it. Or even better yet, which we're going to talk about next month's class, is how to put, like, you create all the things, put it into a content calendar, and then it just automatically goes. Like, how many of us in business have been like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot to post that. I spent all this time on it and it was very date specific, and now the time has gone and I put all this work into it and now it's gone. I know I do that. I used to do it a lot. And again, that's where this workshop came from. But now I can put it into a scheduler, and it just goes. It just posts to the Instagram and to the Facebook, and it's a beautiful thing. Now that can affect some other things, like our organic reach when we use schedulers. So we have to be a little bit careful with that. But, it's better to get stuff out there and get people engaged with you, get people to know you, get people to like you, than it is to just miss it altogether. And then you wind up like me, where people are like, are you still a business? Do you still do stuff? And I'm like, oh my God, I'm doing so many things, but like I'm missing new opportunities because I'm not utilizing my marketing strategies online. I have it all mapped out, but I just don't implement it. So have something, but make sure it's in one place. Like, I'm one of those people, I'm a Post-it note person. Like, I've got all these notes from a meeting I had yesterday, and I'm like, I need to transfer these to my calendar, and I need to transfer them to my planner. So I just put them in one place. But it used to be, they were all over, like you'd see all the Post-it notes behind me. Now they're, I have a system, and I recommend as business owners that y'all create a system for yourself as well. So these are just some examples of what a content calendar or planner can look like for you. The one on the bottom left, it's just we've all seen these kinds of planners before. You just write dates in it and make sure that you're referencing it frequently. But you can use that system. If you're one of those folks that likes to write things out, then this is a system for you. Now, the one in the upper left-hand corner, the Facebook yearly overview. Now, this one, I kind of like this one a lot, because it goes by week of the month, not by a specific date, which, that's okay, because in the next column, it goes by the date that you want to post. And then it gives you a space to put a theme, a title, and a status. The only thing that I don't love about this one is, like, let's say in week 1, you're posting like 5 different things or 10 different things, or you're posting 5 times a day. This option doesn't really give you the space. I mean, obviously, if you're an Excel person, you can add additional days in there. But so that's the Facebook. And if you look down at the bottom, there's tabs. So they have one for Facebook, one for Twitter, one for Instagram, one for Pinterest, and one for LinkedIn. So the cool thing about using spreadsheets is that you can then import those into a lot of these scheduling programs. So it makes it like you can write all this out and then import it. But if you have images that go with them or video, then you have to do that separately. I don't do this option where I import it into the schedules. I just use this to map out my plan and then put it into my calendars. And then on the far left, right side, you see the January social media content planner. And this one is based on the days of the week, or the month, I apologize, days of the month, and then each different social platform, like what are you going to post? So like on Wednesday, what are you going to post to Facebook? What are you going to post to Instagram? What are you going to post to Pinterest? And so these are just different ways that you can lay it out. Okay. What do we got? We got 7 minutes. I'm going to try to blow through this. Oh, now what? Now what? I don't know. I guess I didn't have more to tell you. I do though. So I'm going to stop screen share, stop share, come back to the view. And I just want to see if there are any questions in the chat. The link to the Outlook calendar, social media content calendar. Let me see if, so those calendars that I posted, those handouts, Lynn posted it here. If you go up, Latoya, in the chat, you will see that and you can download it from the website. Let me see if I can copy this and I'll repaste it so we can, in case you joined after she posted. So partners, please let me know when the sip and yoga. Yes, I love that class. It's so relaxing and fun. Okay, so does anybody there, and Mary Beth just commented in the comments that there are a ton of free planners that you can print online, and they work great. The idea is just to start a system and know that you might create a whole campaign and then it doesn't work. But the idea is that you're working on getting your content out there, you're getting your message out there, and people are seeing you, people are getting to know you. And right now, the tips, I take a lot of, because these platforms are ever changing. So I'm constantly sitting in on free webinars, sitting in on, I pay for a lot of my education for social media, because like I would rather not spend 10 to 20 hours a week trying to figure out the things that these people know already and they're just sharing it with me in a 1 hour webinar. So I spend 1 hour learning from them and I pay them for that knowledge, as opposed to me having to try to learn it all in like 20 to 40 hours sometimes, like I'm doing with TikTok. I'm consulting with my 9-year-old for TikTok and my 13-year-old niece. But so some things to think about too when you're creating posts: go live every day. This is something that I just learned because Facebook just changed their algorithm again. Doing live videos and having them last for more, you want them to be about 3 minutes long. So doing lives and just talk about some of the like basic things of, so think about what product or service you're selling or you're promoting. Don't talk about it, but I know, Mary Beth, the going live thing, but talk about like how your product or service can solve your ideal customer's problems. Like I just did, I'm an essential oils person, and Mary Beth saw this live. I did a quick little video about, you know, my journey to get back in shape and to eat healthier, and one of the oils that I use. And I didn't talk like, I said, this is what it is, and if you want it, then, you know, reach out to me. But the intention wasn't to sell, it was to inform. And then if people want more information, they can reach out to me. But it was basically just telling people how I use that product, and how it has solved my problem of eating a dozen donuts when I get stressed. So like sharing those stories about your everyday life. I have the person who has all the energy that I was talking about earlier. She's like so insane. Like like I said, I have to turn the volume way down because she's just like, whoa, so intense. And her whole thing was like talking and inspiring people while she was packaging her products to ship out to her customers, all the orders that she was getting. And during that time, people were like, ooh, what is that? Ooh, I want that. How do I order that? And she's like, link in bio. And she's like, I'm not here to sell. I'm just chatting. I'm just giving you guys secrets, like behind the scenes. What do I do? I'm in my yoga pants. I'm like doing my thing. And like, she made like, I think 50 sales in that live video while all she was doing was chatting and packaging her products, and be like, oh, here's another one of the things, like, oh, this person ordered like strawberry. And I'm like, wow. So that's how we start to create community. And that's how we start to get that engagement where people are able to relate to us, to build that connection and start to feel like part of your family. Like I always think about the show Cheers, which is just an old show. Again, I'm dating myself, but everyone wants to feel like Norm. Everyone wants to walk into any space and be like, what's up, Norm? And then the beverage that you drink, the meal that you eat, the things that you prefer are already there. So we all want to feel like we belong to a community. And right now, with the fact that we all can't connect the way that we once did in groups and things like that, being able to put ourselves out there online is so valuable. Right before we started this class, I did a live both on my business Facebook page and the IDRS Acorn Project Facebook page, just to show you what I do to set up for a workshop like this or a webinar like this. And I did some lighting tips, like how do I light my face? What do I use? Like right now, my super expensive $1.99 that's in front of the heater is like in the view, but that's okay. So if you want to watch that, go check out the IDRS Acorn Project Facebook page and watch that video. Those live videos then live on your page and people can continue to interact and engage with them. Another thing to do is they say now not to ask people to like, comment, and share, because the little Facebook and Instagram bots are like, ooh, that's not what we want here. We want people to do that on their own. So if they like, you don't want to put that out there too much. Now, if you create a graphic and it's embedded on the graphic, like share with your friends who might be interested in this, that's a little different. They can, I swear they can still see that, but don't, not putting that in the actual body of the post. Other tips for posting on Facebook and Instagram are like not writing like a book because people tune out. They don't want to see it. Like write bullets, write sentences. Because for some reason, psychologically, when we see that, we want to read it. But when we see paragraph, it's like, I don't have time for that. And we just keep scrolling. The other thing is outside links are also reducing our organic reach. So what's a way that you can keep people on the platform that you're posting to? One way is by directing people to Messenger, or like having something embedded on your Facebook page that they can go to. There's if you have a business page, there's a lot more options, but I'm running out of time. I'm down to a minute. I don't see any more questions. I hope that means that I filled your brains with a ton of information that you can run away with and implement. But please, if you have additional questions, reach out. If you are interested in learning how to choose the best scheduling applications for your business, if you want to, once you get your content calendar done, so by the time the next webinar comes in a month, y'all have your content calendar done and some sort of a strategy for those important dates for your business and your community. And then you can start to look at that content calendar and how you can use that to begin to be more present and more proactive. Now, you can't pre-schedule on those scheduling platforms live videos. You're just going to have to suck it up and do it. And one last tip for doing lives, and this was the best advice that I'd ever received when going live, because this was about 3 years ago, was when IGTV, when was IGTV? 3 or 4 years ago. And they were like, okay, you've got to start using IGTV. That's the new thing on Instagram. So that's another tip. Anytime something new comes out on a platform, use that. Like Reels is new on Instagram. All the people that jumped on Reels on Instagram, all their posts were like ranking at the top. Right now, TikTok, it's since Gary Vaynerchuk said everyone needs to be on TikTok, everyone's on TikTok. But anyway, so doing a live video, don't look at yourself and like constantly be fixing your hair because that gets really annoying. No one wants to see that. Like, oh God, like what's up? So you want to look at the camera. Imagine that the camera is your best friend and you're telling your best friend about whatever it is that you're talking about. You're just having a conversation. If you're a person, like I talk with my hands a lot, then talk with your hands. If you're and then don't worry about like if you just finished a workout or you just woke up and you just had this profound thought and you want to share, go live, talk about it and talk to the camera as if you're talking to your best friend, the person that you feel the most comfortable talking to. And like, if you're talking to your best friend, do you always stare them down? Like looking right into their eyes? No. Sometimes you look away. You might look over there. You might look down. You might look at your phone and like fix your hair. Do the things that you do when you're having a conversation with someone that you care about. If you drink coffee, if you're going to have water, whatever it is, even better, have your product or service in the field of view so people can see what you do. But that's all the time I have. I am so thankful for y'all that showed up. I'm going to let you go now. Again, this is recorded. So if you missed anything, you want to see anything else, you'll see the recording. Again, I'm going to do my very best to remember to send those links to Lynn. So when she sends out the follow-up email with the recording and the link to the handouts, I'm also going to include those links to that website for those holidays. Go through it today or whenever you get the email. Go make it be like, as soon as I get that email, I'm going to go through, pick all the ones that seem relevant to my business, and then just write them down. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have an amazing day. And thank you again for checking in. And if you aren't already doing it, go check out the IDRS Acorn Facebook page and Instagram page, because I'm constantly posting about opportunities for grants and just different business tips and tricks. And, there's, trying to just start to put information out there for everyone to stay in business during this time in our world. All right. So it's good stuff. And plus you'll see like what cool new webinars and things are coming up. All right, thanks. Oh, and there's an Etsy class coming up. Yes, and a photography class. So many things. Go to the Facebook page so you can see all the cool stuff coming up. I'm just like super excited. All right.